Hi, Mary. How are you? You came here live to hear me chew. I use ginger snaps and I can't stop eating them. But welcome, everybody. Okay. You may have looked at my thumbnail and was like, how are you going to be making earrings with a drill? Yeah. I just discovered something that, remember when I was showing you guys, let me show you what I posted it. I can't tell you where I posted it because I forgot. Because that's how life is. I forgot. But let me turn my camera around real quick and show you. So I was doing this little fancy number and I wrapped this by hand. When I say that it took me forever, it will be an understatement. So I looked for a shortcut and I am about to teach you that shortcut. Okay. I'm not sure how clear that shortcut is going to be to you, but I'm going to try. So anyway, my name is Marie. I like to make things and I like to turn around and show you how I made those things. So welcome to my live stream. And it's 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay? So anyway, you guys, I'm sorry about not having the live stream last week, last Tuesday. The reasoning behind that is internet was out, number one. Number two, my husband took apart my computer because my fan went bad. You may be thinking, oh my goodness, this is a brand new computer. And you will be right. But for reasons that are beyond my understanding, the fans have gone wrong in it. It has about 6 fans in it. 2 of those went wrong, whereas making a really loud noise. So he unplugged everything and stuff was everywhere, and I was trying my best to get everything back on track for my live, and it did not work out. And then on top of it all, I was just gonna have a talking live just to be like, hey, this is what's going on. I couldn't even do that because there was no internet. So I did try. All right, so now what I'm going to do is, how is everybody? Where are you tuning in from? And how is your week going? And how is life going? How's your family? How was your vacations? How was your holidays? How was all that stuff? Tell me in the chat, just so I know that you're here, so I can interact with you. That's what we do live. We interact and stuff. So I was watching my, what was I watching? A combination of Dateline and Law and Order, because I want to be a crime fighter and that's the only way I know how to do it. Yeah. Oh, and I also want to explain the way I'm looking. So if you notice that I have, this hair looks different than this hair up here. Well, what had happened was, I gave myself a haircut. So, oh, I don't know if you can see, my hair is pretty long, but I gave myself a haircut with my locks, okay? Then when I did that, when I cut it, some of it began to like unravel. So I was like, oh no. So I ended up like combing some out, the ones that were unraveling, and it was refreshing and I love it. Sacramento, yeah. I really wanted to go to Sacramento when I was in California. I really did. Mary, do you know you're the only one who's here? But anyway, yeah, I really wanted to go to Sacramento. And then I was like, we ended up staying on the coast more. But anyway, I'm glad that everything went wonderful for you in your holidays and your vacations. All right. So you may be thinking, this is out of focus, Marie. And you will be right. But what I will explain to you is that is out of focus for a reason. My camera can only focus on one thing at a time. So this right here will be out of focus, but when I get up close, it's in focus. So don't worry. This may look like a fuzzy mess, but it's okay. You may hear the cat in the background talking to the two puppies because they came in the room and he does not like the puppies. So anyway, these are the earrings that I'm going to do today, okay? Look at that. You got the coiling around, and you got this bare wire that makes a loop, and then you got your earring wire attached to it, okay? And so I wanted to do a simple project that I can show you guys how it's done. Of course, I have my notes because sometimes I forget things, and then I'm like, what time is it and where am I? And I don't know how to do this. But let me show you what it would look like. We would be going around a piece of 16 gauge wire, okay? And then we're gonna be using 26 gauge to wrap it. This is what you see coiled around the 16 gauge wire. This 16 gauge obviously is very, very thick. So we're gonna cut a piece of 16 gauge wire, and then we're gonna coil it with 26 gauge wire, okay? So this is how I did it. I had a little piece of, I'm gonna get a little piece of scrap wire. So this is what I do with my scrap wires. I have this little cup holder and I put all my scrap wires in it so that I could just pull out a rando piece of wire. And this is going to give us the circumference of the bead we want to coil around, okay? So you may be thinking, if you could see in the blurriness, I have 3 beads here. I only need 2. Why do I have 3? Because I'm gonna drop one. I know I'm gonna drop one because that's how my life goes. I'm constantly dropping things. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna check the circumference, the millimeters of this bead that I have, and I have, feels like it's about 10. So this is a 10 millimeter bead that I found in my stock. But what I'm going to do also is I'm going to make a little note into my notes so that if I want to do this again, I'm going to make little notes later on so I don't have to do this whole process again, okay? So there's our bead. Now, here's my scrap wire. So I'm going to make a circle with this scrap wire. To boost the sound of, let me see. Hey Tasha, how are you? Let's see. How does that sound? How does that sound? Is that a little louder? So all I'm doing here is I'm trying to create a little circle. It doesn't have to be perfect because this is a scrap wire. We're not using this at all. This is just so I can get the circumference of the bead itself, okay? All right, so I got this nice little circle here that I'm going to put around my bead because I want to get a measurement of how much 16 gauge wire that I actually need. Okay, so I'm gonna pull this out. Okay, much better. Okay, awesome sauce. Okay, so I have it wrapped around here, okay? And right at the end of this wire is where I'm gonna put a little mark, or I can just cut it. I'm gonna cut it, okay? So now we know that this is how much wire we're gonna need to go around our bead, okay? So I'm just gonna straighten it out like that, okay? So I know how much I need wire that goes around my bead. So this is gonna help you because sometimes you may, I don't know what kind of beads you have. That's number one. Number two, my beads are different than your beads. So it may not even be a circle. So this is going to help you. This little technique is going to help you to be able to differentiate whether you need more wire or less wire, and it's all according to what bead you have. These are the beads that I have. It's just a simple, it really is not a, it's a bead, but it's plasticky and whatever. I just like the color of it. Yay. So if you like the color, I'm going to use it. Okay. So now I know how much wire I need to go around 2 of these beads. So I have to take this and measure this onto my 16 gauge wire. But keep in mind, we need to do 2 earrings, okay? So I'm gonna pull out a little bit of wire. Okay. So I was really playing around with this a couple weeks ago, and I was just like, oh my God, this is so cool. My husband comes in and he's like, what are you doing with my drill? And I was like, making jewelry and stuff. He was just like, what in the world is going on? Hi, Lisa. Welcome. So yeah, my husband's like, what are you doing with my drill? So I was like, nope. You gave me this drill. I can do what I want with it. And he was like, okay. Not going to say anything more about it. 16 gauge wire. Because we know this 16 gauge wire is not going to bend that much. And it's going to keep its shape. I just want to check to see if I did use 16 gauge. But it did say I did use 16 gauge. Now, what is the difference between circumference and diameter? Because I had to learn this a couple months ago. I'm like, what is the difference between circumference and the diameter of a bead? Let me see what you guys say. Don't be Googling it, because I know you're going to Google it. Don't Google. First thing that comes to your mind, the difference between diameter and circumference of a circle. Because I had to learn that the hard way, because I was like, oh, that's not right. This does not make any sense to me. All right, so now I know how much I need of my 16 gauge wire. So I got, what do we have here? We looking like more like 2 inches, but it's just below 2 inches. But guess what? I don't really need to learn or know exactly what the measurements are. This is my measurement. This is the only measurement I need, but I'm just curious as to how much is there. Okay, so this may be blurry, but I have to do it flat. But once I keep going with the video and have my drill in the frame so that you guys can see it, I want to make sure that part is in focus, because that is the most important part. So I wrote down what I need to do. So I got my measurement here. I have to do it twice, but I want to make sure I have enough space. Oh, they're both sleeping. I don't know what that noise was. I want to make sure I have enough space for it to go into the drill, number 1, and enough space in between each coil so that I can do it all at once instead of having to do the whole process twice. Okay, so I'm gonna do it like this. So I have this measurement. You may think, oh yeah, this is perfect, put it right up to the end. No, I'm gonna go in a little bit because this part needs to go into my drill. So I'm gonna mark where my coil is going to begin and when my coil is going to end using this scrap wire that I have. And then, so I have my 2 marks here, okay, with my marker. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a little space in between that and give it enough space in between the 2 coils that I need. The outer measurements, okay, so yes, yeah. So the diameter, she got it right. Good job, Mary. So the diameter is the distance across that circle. So if you have a circle, it's the distance going this way. Now circumference, because it's a circle, it goes around the bead. So that's what I did with this wire. I went around the circumference of the bead so I can get the measurement of that bead so I know how much coil I'm going to do. So here's my first coil in this area. Now I'm going to create a little space here, and then I'm going to do a little mark for the beginning of it, do a little mark for the end of it, and then I'm also going to do a little little space there. So I think that's how I'm supposed to do it. So I have one coil here, one coil here. This can be the area for where I'm going to do my loop for one of them, probably for this one. And it gives me enough space to work with, so I'm not like overdoing it and overdoing too much. So I think this will be enough for a loop. I believe so. What I'm going to do, I think that's a little too, I think this is a little bit, I need a little bit more for a loop. See how this one's bigger than this one? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give myself more space afterwards, and then I'm going to cut it there. Oh, boom. Okay, I got it. I was struggling there for a second. Don't tell anybody. Now, the only part that I'm not exactly sure about is the measurements of the 26 gauge. I'm just making sure I got a lot of it, okay? We're talking about 2 feet or something like that, because even though it is covering a small area, I still want to make sure that I am covering enough where I don't have to cut it and do it again. You know what I mean? So what I'm going to do is I want to make sure that I am not getting confused as to where I'm coiling it and where I am not coiling it. So I'm even going to mark in there just so I don't confuse myself, because I am easily confused, as you guys know. So I just marked in there. You probably can't see it, but yeah, I marked here and I marked here, right there. So I marked it. There's a space in between, there's a space here, and then there's a space right here. Okay, now grab your 16 gauge. Okay, let me look at my, okay. All right. Ooh, you guys, I have an idea, and I'm wondering if you guys would be interested in it. So I've been starting to get my merch together, and a piece of merch that I'm thinking of doing is, let me show you. So I don't know if you guys have ever had a full desk iPad, oh my gosh, a full desk mouse pad. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have this mouse pad here where I use my mouse. Now, sometimes I don't want to use that thing or don't need to use that thing, and I have a full desk one and it lays flat. Now, what I have been finding that I need as a jewelry maker, I've been finding that I need a ruler to be there, and it's always there on my desk. Okay, a ruler. I need to have I don't know if you guys have seen those charts, the bead charts that shows this, so shows you the millimeters or the measurements of different bead sizes. And so I want to have a little chart that's right there ready for me to go, because I'm like always doing my jewelry right here, but then I have my computer here, and I could also use it as a mouse pad. So that's what I'm trying to design. Tell me if that sounds crazy, but I'm trying to think of other things I want to put on it. It's not going to be a busy thing. I think it's even going to be like white or something, or might have like really light designs on it. It's not going to be overpowering, but I want something that would have a ruler across the whole thing, and it's always there. So I don't have to keep pulling out a ruler or pulling out my measuring tape and all this stuff, where I have the measurements right in front of me. So I'm thinking of designing something like that, and I'm wondering if you guys are like, oh, that's stupid, or if you're like, I really could use that. Let me know. because I'm going to do it for myself because I do feel like I can use it. And yeah. So, because that's why right here, I was pulling out this wire, right? And I was like, oh, how much is this? Oh, I got to get my tape measure. And so I always have to measure it and just to see if it's the right measurements. But then, you know, you mess up. You have a measuring thing right there on your desk. So I am thinking of that. That was something that my husband kept saying to me. He's like, why are you always looking for this tape measure? And I'm like, oh, because it's always somewhere else. And so he's like, you should have your tape measure on your desk like you used to. And I said, yeah, I know, but it's at the front of my desk and it's just glued to my desk. And I found that over time, since it's been sitting here, I've been rubbing against it. It broke, it got dirty, all kinds of things had happened to it because I'm always moving things on top of it. So I like that tape measure had to be thrown out. It was just so raggedy because I kept hitting it on stuff and it's been cut, all kinds of stuff. So I'm gonna do that within the next month. So yeah. So what we have here, and I'm going to try to be careful to not rub, because this marker, even though it's permanent marker, you can rub it off if you're like touching it repeatedly. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I know that I'm going to start coiling right here. So I want to take this wire and go into this blank space here and make sure that it is on there. Good. Okay. So now, but I want to make sure it's not going to move all over the place. So I'm going to squish it down a little bit. Yeah. Thank you, Mary, because of the fact that I couldn't find it anywhere. And I was like, why don't you just design it? My husband always, why don't you just design it? And I'm like, oh yeah, I guess I can do that. So I want to make sure that I have the, yeah, see, it's coming off a little bit, which I'm not mad at it. It's okay. So I want to make sure I have the 16 gauge wire piece along with the 26 gauge wire piece inside my drill here. Now I don't want to make sure that it's not going to be moving around. Okay. And I want to make sure I have enough space so I can see it. Perfect. Now I hate this part. There's another thing. My husband's like, he's always designing things and he's like, oh, I feel like you can have a little, something that's going to, so you can hold the whole drill and everything. Okay, I want to make sure everything is, okay. So now I have it in my drill. It's in there tight. Okay. Now it's in there as if it's a drill bit. I know it sounds crazy, but hear me out, okay? So now, okay, I know which way it's going now. So I'm going to have the wire on whichever side, that just to make sure it doesn't get tangled or anything like that. So now I'm just going to hold it. And I want to make sure that I am on my mark. And I even can take my waist wire that I have just sitting here and just check. Yep. Yep. Okay. So making sure that I'm on my mark. Get set and go. Nah, I'm on my mark. Okay. So now I'm going to just, starting it off is a little scary. So I'm just holding it just to make sure that it doesn't get tangled. Okay, so I'm going to stop talking and I'm going to keep going. Okay, now, why are you spinning? Okay. What did I tell you? I dropped the bead. I'm constantly dropping beads. At least I have 3 over here, so that's good. Okay. now, there we go. So sometimes it comes loose, but you can always tighten it up again. All right, so now I got my first coil here. And then I take my finger and I'm just pushing it in this direction to smash all the coil pieces together. So let me show you. So I got it wrapped around. Okay. Yay. And then, so now I'm going on to my next piece of this wire. Okay, my next mark. And it's right here. So I'm just gonna lay the wire up against the wire. I'm laying the 16 gauge just up against the wire here because we're gonna cut that later on. I just want to make sure that I'm on the right mark, and I am. So I'm gonna hold it, and then I'm going to, there we go. I need to make sure that I am coiling in the right direction and make sure everything is straight. And I didn't do that very well, but that's okay. Move it up. Check your marks. All right, let's try that again. All right, I think I'm there. So, you guys, is this making sense to you? Let me know in the chat. Starting out is always a problem for me, but okay, there we go. Okay. So I'm just smashing up these coils, these separate coils, just to make sure that they are staying straight. And I'm straightening out the wire as I go. Just working on my second piece. Let me make sure, okay, I can see my mark. But let me try to get this mark all the way around my wire. Okay. Just so I can see it from all angles, because this thing is spinning. The wire is spinning. Okay. Just so I can see it from all angles. Excuse me, I am alive. Okay, so let me keep going. Okay. This one is slow going, the second one, because it's really wobbly at the end. Maybe that's what the problem is. Smash your coils as you go. I might even squish down this end. Okay, good. You can even, I have this really heavy duty, what the heck, this thing is so strong, it has so many different settings on it. I would suggest you not use this. I would use, my battery is dead on it, but I'll show you which one I should use. I'm sorry, did I go in the head? I'm sorry, you forgive me? I'm sorry. Okay. I booped my puppy in her head, but she's alive. So this is the one that I would suggest you use because it doesn't have very much power and it goes really slow and it's perfect for this project, but my battery is dead on this and it doesn't have a chuck. I misplaced the chuck, which would make it so that you can grab your wire like this. And I don't know what I did with that chuck. It's somewhere in my studio. So I ended up just using this, but they do have the adapter for this little tiny not powerful thing. It has a little battery that pops out and then you can charge it, which for some reason I'm very bad at that. So, and it's just that easy. Okay. So I would suggest you use a drill that's not like overpowering and is used to build houses. This is like really tough and I'm trying to slow it down, but you know, I have this. My husband gave this to me because he has like 10 drills. I don't know why he does. He has like 10 drills, and so he's gotten out of the field recently, so he's been giving me a lot of his tools. And you know, I hang frames. We hung my wire with it and different things, so it's really powerful, but I misplace my tools sometimes. So yeah. Yeah. Yeah, baby. All right. Okay. So now I'm at the end. Now I can take it out of my drill. There we go. Put you aside. It has a little flashlight on it. So cute. Okay, I'm sorry. My husband will get mad at me if I call his drill cute. So we're not going to call it cute. All right, so we have our coil. We have this little piece right here that is not covered. It's just going from coil to coil. This is one pair of earring. This is one earring, and this is the second pair of earring. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, what do I do after this? What did I do? Okay. I think that I'm going to take my scrap wire just to make sure that it is the right coil, the right amount. Okay, cool. So that I know where I'm cutting it or where I'm coiling it and when I'm going to do my little loop, okay? So that looks good. I'm going to do my loop here. So what I'm going to I need to find my cutter. I'm going to cut this. Sorry. Where am I going to cut it? All right. I'm going to cut it right in the middle of this, you know, void area, just to make sure I don't undersell myself with how much wire I'm going to need. So I'm going to cut it. So I'm going to set this second piece aside. Okay. Doop. All right, so let me grab the cutter is right in front of my eyes. Why don't you guys tell me? Okay. So I have a little scrap piece of wire here because we're going to use that to tie our bead to our coil pieces, okay? So now I'm going to take this, right? I am just looking at this coil just to make sure that all the coil is smushed together to look like it is one full piece, all right? I'm okay. Okay. So I want to take these, I have this mandrel pliers that I absolutely love when I need to make a really big loop. So I'm going to go right in the middle just to make sure that I have enough of the coil, and I'm going to carefully wrap it around. Okay, this may not be the size that I need. It might be a little smaller, so I'm just going to go in the smaller size one. Okay, and I want to make sure The majority of it is the coil. All right. So I just cut off the extra of the 26 gauge, the thin wire that was coiled around. I cut off the extra because it was in the way, and I want to make sure just to finish up this coil. And so I'm smashing down the end just to make sure it doesn't come up anymore. And we want to forget about that end. Okay. So I got this nice little circle here. And I'm going to test my bead just to see if it fits in that coil, and it's beautifully fitting very nicely into my coil. But I want to make sure that it stays in my coil, right? So I'm going to grab some what is this? This is 26 gauge wire, just some scrap wire, nothing crazy. And I'm going to put it into the hole of that bead. Now you notice I went above this side and below this side, okay? You don't have to do it. It just makes it more strong when you do it that way. Okay, and I'm just gonna wrap it around this coil, and it will blend in so beautifully because of the fact that these coils are so small using the same exact wire. Okay, now it doesn't have to be crazy beautiful because it's not gonna be, but what you are trying to do is you're trying to give the floor and draw attention to the actual coil and not your wire wrapping of your bead here. Okay, so I got it. Let me pull it through. Beautiful. And I'm not going to tighten it down on one side yet until I have the other side attached to my coil. Okay, and I'm going to pull it through. So we have our bead attached to our coil. It doesn't have to be attached all perfectly and beautiful, and I mean, unless you want it to be, but the key is to tighten it so that it's not moving around. It's not going to fall out. If you want to wrap it a couple times, I'll wrap it a couple times, okay? Just to make you feel better, okay? We're going to wrap it a couple times if I can get it in there. Because after you initially squeeze it, it's also tightening the coil around your bead. So I might not be able to get it back in here. But what I can do is to get it around so that I can put it inside the bead. Okay, I'm going to do that. I hope you can see it. I'm going into the hole now. And it broke, but that's okay. That's another thing with this wire. It's like really thin, but it's okay. I'm going to wrap it around once more. And the other side I'm going to put inside my bead. It's okay. Okay. When I say that I'm blind, I'm not kidding with you. Okay, there we go. We have it all tightened up. So I'm going to cut this extra. Just to cut a little bit off. And then I'm going to squish it down. And I want to make sure that the wire is going in the same direction as our coils and not going this direction, okay? Just to blend it in a little bit, okay? And I am doing a disservice to my bead. I'm kind of scratching it, but it's really not a real bead. So I am going to, there we go. I'm making sure that my hole is also covered. So I'm just gonna move this coil around a little bit just to make sure it's in line with the hole and covering the hole, just to make it look a little bit more seamless. I'm gonna wrap it one more time around. This is like one of my favorite projects because it looks so professional. Whenever people see it, they're like, oh my God, what? How'd you do that? I love that when people say that. How'd you do that? And I'd be like, I did it like this. Maybe. Okay. Here we go. And so I'm going to try to put it inside the hole this time. Get your minds out of the gutter. How's everybody doing? Everybody's quiet in the chat. So I'm just trying to feed it through. Hopefully it goes through. There it is. And it comes out the other side. So I'm going to pull it tight. Okay. Just making sure that I have it snug. Okay. Now flatten it down so it doesn't scratch you later. There we go. So I can't wait to design that. I can't wait to design that thing for my desk. All right. Now I see where the wire, where the coil is ending. I'm just gonna bend it right at the spot where the coil has ended. And I'm looking at the other side of my coil and just trying to assess where I'm going to cut it. Yeah, it just blends in. Yeah, like you can't really see it. Oh, you guys, you know what you can see? You can see my finger a little bit. Remember when I had my finger, I cut it like really badly? It looks like it's red, but this is because of the coloring of the camera. But my finger is not red, you see? It's not red. It's just the way that I have the up camera colored. But yeah, you can see it a little bit. It went to this really small hole, but this whole area right here was all gone. My fingernail was really short, so the knife went right past me, went past my nail, and went in all this. Not so good. So it's looking great. So I'm very happy. Starting to get feeling back in it, but I don't know what possessed me. But yeah, it didn't get in the way of a lot of stuff with me making jewelry or anything. So that was great. I'm glad it didn't get in the way of my jewelry. If it get in the way of my jewelry, I would cry. Okay, so I'm just blending in the wire a little bit more. Okay, so I am going to look at, yeah, okay, I got it. Now, I want to have this coil side just match up and just lay up against this. It's not gonna wrap around it. It doesn't need to, because it actually makes the wire stronger. So this wire is like really tough to bend around. So I'm like, I don't really wanna do that. So I'm gonna cut as close to this as I can, okay? Yeah, okay, got it. Now, I'm going to push, and you know what? I'll do you one better. I might even take some, I think I put glue at the end of that. Yeah, the lighting the lighting makes it look really, but look at it from here. From this angle, it's not red. It's just the lighting. See? It's not red. It looks like normal. It looks normal as can be. It's not red. I am not in pain. But I'm gonna get some glue. Guess what I still have in the box, you guys? I still have my eyeball. I really need to do this eyeball. I don't know if this is the eyeball box. This might not be the eyeball box. I have a box that is the eyeball. Oh, it's under the camera. I'm using boxes to hold up my camera because I'm janky like that. Janky. All right. So what I want to do, I'm going to put some glue right at the tip of this so it's not going to unravel on me. This is the worst glue. I mean, I can't say it's the worst glue. It's just really stinky. So I'm gonna push that. There you go. And I'm going to make sure that these sides are meeting up with each other like that. That's perfect. Okay. Now I'm gonna push this back, and then I'm going to create a little loop. Doesn't have to be magical. Yeah, my lighting, I'm doing my lighting according to this mat, because this mat makes everything look blue for some reason. I don't know why. So I had to add more red into the footage. So yeah. So I'm just creating a little loop. It's kind of hard because the wire is 16 gauge and it's a little hard to like loop it. But you know what? We have the tools to do so. Now I'm going to cut off the extra. And that is that. And that is how I coiled and used the coil. Used the drill to make a coil. And that's how I did it. Now, I'm just doing a little project to show you the coiling action. But it was a doozy. I'm wondering, I'm not exactly sure how I would do it for, where is it? Here it is. This guy. But yeah, I just took a bunch of wire. Oh, okay, I see what I did here. All right. So I had one piece of wire in a loop like this, okay? Because this is where my bead is going to sit, my really huge bead. And so I coiled all of this, okay? Once I coiled all of that, then I started wrapping it around. This sun looking piece here, I wish I had found a circle bead, but I couldn't find one in my box. But I want it to look like a sun. So I'm going to find a bead and do this again, but this is just a separate piece. These right here, this is a U-shaped separate piece. And then I squish this coil around this bead, okay? And I use this wire to tie the two pieces together to give it a little back, and also to like give it a little space to sit in. Then I gathered the two pieces together, and then I folded it over and I coiled it like I did a little spiral, make it all fancy. But I don't know if I want to do this again. I will do it again if I find a really beautiful circle flat stone that is like yellow orange, like sunset look, and then I will do it again. Only then. So I'm on the lookout for beads for that. So this is what it looked like when I did the coil the first time, and I made a little bail so I can slip it on a necklace. Boom. So yeah, this is the first of its kind. I saw something similar and I said, oh my God, that is so wonderful. I have to do it. And then I did it, and then I was like, oh my God, why? Why do you do this to yourself? Currently, you guys, what I'm doing is on the side, if I'm not doing any jewelry, I am doing, I'm crocheting myself a cardigan. Not any cardigan. Cardigan is a long cardigan. So I'm like, oh my goodness, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this to yourself? Why? So this is kind of like that project. That cardigan is like this project, because about as long as it's going to take me to make my cardigan is about as long as it took me to make this thing. Just saying, just throwing it out there. But I also want to show you this, you guys. This I did, and I also want to do it again for you guys in a video. So I have a box that I keep separate. When I say, oh, I'm going to do this in a video, I always put them in a box and I leave them on my desk. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to do a video today. I have the project ready to go and just move on. Yeah, I really, oh, thank you. Yeah, I'm looking for something that's like, it throws light. Maybe if it's like see-through a little bit transparent, but not too transparent. Some agate stones are kind of see-through like that. So I just have to gauge it just right when I'm looking for this bead. It's got to be a special bead for me to actually do it again. And I'm gonna shorten the video. Like, I'm gonna show the coiling, and then I'm going to refer back to this video, this live, and I'm going to timestamp all this whole video so that they can get the coiling aspect. I don't want to spend too much time on coiling. It's a lot. But yeah, let me show you a close up. So you guys can take that technique and use it in a huge form like I did in the past, or you can use it for a simple project. Deal? Okay. So I promise you guys, I promise that I will do this, but with a better bead than this. This, I don't know. I love this bead, but it seems like this is taking away from the beauty of this particular bead. And I'm like, I don't know. I want them to work together. To me, it just doesn't. I'm not noticing the bead. I'm noticing the wire wrapping. Does that make sense? Like, I feel like, you know, a lot of the attention is taken away from the bead. The bead is beautiful. It's huge. And I want to put it on a necklace. It's kind of hard for me to have necklaces because I have big boobs. So the necklace kind of sticks out and it's just, So yeah, I wanted to have it like a necklace that's like right here. I don't know. I have to figure out something to that. Yeah. So let me show you guys this tool that I got too. This should be interesting. I love this tool. This is what it looks like. You're like, what the heck is this? Let me show you. Well, first, let me look at it first to make sure I do it correctly. Okay, got it. Now, alrighty. Let me straighten out this wire. This is another tool that I'm like, whoa, if I want a shortcut on something, yeah, this is it. So let me show you what it does. I just stick the wire in here and see how it comes out the back. Okay, and then when you squeeze on it, I think, okay. Do you see what happened? Look at that. I love it. Sorry, I'm sorry if that was too loud, but sometimes I can get loud with that. So let me cut that off. These are my waist wire. Let me show you again. So I have it going in front of this little post right here, and it comes out to the other side through this hole. You see that? You see that? So I don't really like to put too much into that hole, but as long as it's in that hole, it is holding it in place, okay? Now, I'm going to squeeze on the things, the handles, and it cut it, and it squishes it down into a loop. Take it off the post. Y'all can't tell me nothing bad about this tool. I love this tool. Look at that. And then if you want to, just kick it back like that, and you got yourself a loop. Love it. Like, if I want a shortcut, it's perfect. This is 16 gauge wire, so it can cut through 16 gauge wire and everything. Yeah, this is amazing. I love this tool. Okay, I just want to show you guys that because it was sitting on my desk and I was like, oh my God, ooh, let me show you guys how to use this. But yeah, it is the biggest time saver for me. Sometimes I was a little leery as to whether I wanted to use it on my new bead. Where is the bead that I just did? You guys, here it is. I found it. I'm constantly losing things. It's a thing. So I was kind of scared to do it here. I just want to make sure that it was right. Okay, I just wanted to make sure it was correct, and I don't know whether it's still a new tool to me, so I didn't want to ruin it for you guys and mess it up, and then it would be like, oh my God, you messed that whole thing up, and now I didn't get anything out of the video. So I didn't want that to happen. But yeah, yay! So you guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I'm gonna go and finish my other earring, and here's the bead. So that I can do it, actually wear them. And these are the ones that I made in the past with a smaller bead. Just using a scrap piece of wire to measure around the bead, you don't need to know what circumference it is, what diameter. You don't need to know the millimeters of it or anything. You don't need to measure anything. All you have to do is use a wire to measure. I do not like measuring things, but sometimes you need to. For this project, you do not need to. So I did it a few times in a couple different ways, but I like the one I taught you and I showed you the best because it was the easiest to do. So yeah, and 9 times out of 10, these size beads, they're all gonna have a hole in it, so that kind of helps to get the project done, is if they do have a hole. So you guys, thank you so much for tuning in to my live. What am I doing next week? Guess what? I don't know. But if you're on my Discord, you'll be the first to know what I'm doing, because I do have the subject. I'll put the subject in my Discord as to what I will be doing for my live coming up. And it's usually like I put it out there like Friday, and I know already by Friday what I'm doing. Okay. But these are another pair of earrings. I don't know if I can teach these. I don't know if I can teach it. But look at how it looks. Like, there's something that I wanted to do with this to make it better. I don't know, but I was playing around with my wire and I didn't want to waste it, but this is what I did. This little weird braided earring thing. I mean, I could do that next week, but I'm not exactly sure if I can. I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to be able to teach it. I halfway almost didn't make it to the second earring because I was like, what did I do? But yeah, I could do these. These might not be next week, but maybe then the week after that. At the end of December, maybe. I might do this on a random Tuesday, okay? But next week, if you're in my Discord, most of you guys are in my Discord, you will be able to get access to what my next live will be. I need to step it up a notch for my members. I know, although it's like only 99 cents or whatever, but I still want to make sure that my people who are in my cheerleading squad are covered and they're happy where they are and they keep supporting me. So I'm going to step it up a notch. I'm going to have a little surprise for you guys right after Christmas. And yeah, what I'm going to do is my husband's going to come home and he's going to fix my computer. He is going to put my fans in there. And yay, I'm going to hide the drill and make sure he's not going to be like, what are you doing my drill? What are you doing my drill? He is so, he cracks me up. Oh God. Okay, I'm okay. I just had my iPad over there and it fell out of its holder, and I'm okay, I promise. So you guys, I am still nutsy cuckoo. Everything is going well, and another thing. So you guys, I am thinking about stopping doing tutorials. Okay, hear me out. Trust my process here. What I've noticed is that when I do videos that I don't get very many views on them. For some reason, I don't know why, but I get a lot of views on my lives and my shorts. If you don't know what shorts are, it's one of the tabs that's in on my channel at the top. And so what I notice is that more people are looking at that and then looking at my lives than they are looking at my videos that I put out. So I'm going to slow down, maybe even stop with the actual tutorials. And if I do a tutorial, it will be really, really, really short. It wouldn't be something that's like extravagant. Maybe it's because my videos are a little too long. That's probably what it is. So that's what I was thinking, and then I was going to shorten my videos a little bit and then go from there. That's just something that I'm thinking. So don't think that I am giving up on the YouTube thing, because I can't. I can't, and I love it too much. So I'm just going to be focusing on shorts that are pinging people over to the videos I already have. I was winking at you, but you know. But other than that, I promise I think you know why? Okay, I got it. I know I'm all over the place, but that's normal. You should be used to it. I think what I was focused on is I do have a major video that's coming, but it's not going to be long. I'm gonna shorten it. I'm gonna shorten the heck out of it, okay? Because I'm not trying to do too much editing. Okay, so it is going to be my eyeball. Yeah, attention spans are short, and so I need to keep that in mind. So I'm going to do it as quickly as possible, like boom, boom, boom. You don't need to see it twice. You know why? Because you can rewind it. Okay, so I need to keep in mind, either tell people to rewind it, give them timestamps so they can always go back to it. Don't do it twice. Why you need to do it twice? So that's what happens. So some of my videos have gotten longer because of that. Short attentions are span. Oh my God. Attention spans are very, very short today. So I want to take advantage of that. So that's why I've been doing these little shorts, pinging people back to my old videos, because they're very good videos, because people were like, oh my God, I never thought of that. Same thing. So I'm like, you know what? Give yourself a break, even though I'm still editing these videos, but give yourself a break a little bit. And after this live, I am putting up another short, and it's pinging people back to one of my favorite videos. I think it was the Monstera leaf. And then after that, I'm going to have a short where, just like my other video, I'm beating that Monstera leaf. So just going through my videos and like reminding people, or people who don't even look, they're just like, oh, they focus on the one video and then they're like, okay, good. But there's a lot of good stuff in there. It's good content, easy projects. So yeah, I'm just getting people over to my old videos. And then my one video that I might do one video a month. It just sounds like that would be a good idea. So that's what I'm going to do. One video a month that is long length, but not like too long. And then I am going to focus on shorts in between there. I'm still here. I will be doing my lives every week because it seems that people like the lives. So why don't you stick to the things that people like, right? That's not too hard. Why you gotta make things so difficult? I don't know why I do. But anyway, you guys, I will be putting up a short right after this live. I love you guys very much. So glad you guys are here. And I'm so glad that you guys had a good vacation. I hope you did have a good vacation, because I did. I think I put a picture up. I had such a good time in New York, seeing my family and stuff. That's great. We have to do that more often, right? Right? Not just during the holidays. Do it more often. It'd be like, oh, in the middle of May. Oh, in the middle of January. Just do it, you know? So much better. All right. Love you guys. Thank you for watching. I will be here next Tuesday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, like usual, or at least I try. And if I'm not here, I will be on Discord. So I'm still doing jewelry. I'll put stuff up there. Still doing jewelry. I'll be doing my old stuff on YouTube. So other than that, hope you guys have a good rest of your day. Okay? Bye. Yay. I don't know what I'm doing. I still don't know how to end these lives, but I love you guys. Bye.